And there it was, just by Gross, did all he could. He was in good position for a shot from that distance, but it had an awful lot on it, and it went into the net. So 15 minutes remain. 1-0 score in favor of Tampa Bay. San Diego will go now from left to right. And the Rowdy crowd, you can take that any way you want, I guess. They get into it so much. Just continues to cheer their team on with a tremendous racket. Oscar Fabiani in the middle of the picture, along with Paul Mott. And from the kickoff, Tampa Bay has it. And every tick of the clock hurts San Diego now. Tampa Bay, 1-0 up the left wing. Sockers must think offense. They've got to bring more players into the offensive move. They've got to take a chance and gamble that they can move the ball into offensive scoring position. Cuellar pushing Vanderveen, being told to back off. He gave him a little bit of a shove. Didn't appear to be too rough, which I suppose why he didn't get the yellow card. You'll see him now stick his leg and his arm on him pretty strongly. And so the referee just telling him to behave himself a little bit, and actually telling Vanderveen the same thing. Vanderveen, of course, saying, "I'm innocent." Here's the kick. Tampa Bay in possession, gets over their heads, and into midfield it goes. San Diego doesn't have time for a mistake even just like that. Rowdies with the ball. Now Fabiani, quick header that time, but it blocked away. Sockers need ball possession. They've got to go the other way. They can't get possession. Peter Anderson has it. Anderson pass to the right wing, sliding tackle, clears it away. Back out it goes to Wegerle. Wegerle breaking around Keogh. He's got room if he can save it. He can't, so the Sockers will get the goal kick. 13:52 remaining. A big day in sports, obviously, in North America. Soccer playoffs, NFL football, baseball pennant races, U.S. Open. Holy mackerel. Sports fan go wild out in San Diego today with a telly and in person. Here's Peter O'Sullivan. Sullivan at midfield. Sockers need one precious goal to set up a chance at it in the shootout. San Diego coming up slowly. Chipped away, taken by Mott. Mott's pass goes awry. Cuellar gets it to Bush. Bush can't keep possession. Knocked down by Anderson. Anderson goes back for it. He's bumped off the ball. Sockers have it. Rodney Bush. And a little late call here by the referee. It was interesting because the Sockers had the ball, started to move with it before the referee blew the whistle. And now he gives the yellow card to Rodney Bush. And that is not relevant. He did get one, of course, as you know, in the regulation game. And Bush getting a second yellow card in a completely separate game would only affect him in another round of playoffs. Here it is, the ball up in the air. Anderson stepping over it. Peter O'Sullivan hitting Anderson first, and Bush coming in from behind. And of course, the Tampa Bay player down on the field right now, that is Anderson. Werner Weisman, though, has done a good job of controlling the game. 13 minutes remain. Anderson is badly hurt. And he may, well, I would doubt very much if he'd come out under his own choice. Jago thinks that he's hurt enough, he might pull him. Because right now, they're thinking, oh, Sockers tie it! What a bonanza at one apiece! The game is tied, and the linesman, no call on any kind of an offside. The Sockers have tied it. It is one apiece with 12 minutes to go in the minigame. Hugo Sanchez, let's watch it again. Julie V off the header. It slithers up in front. Sanan off the head again. Into the middle. Sanchez being pushed from behind. Still managed to slide it off the top of his head into the net. The game is tied at a goal apiece. 11:48 remains. So now, if you're the coach of one of these teams, do you play for a win here? Or do you say, let's go for broke in the shootout? Oh, I'll tell you, you talk about soccer drama. We've had it the last 2 weekends in Chicago and now here tonight in Tampa Bay. 1-1 game. 11:44 remaining. Harry Vanderbeck for the Rowdies up the right wing. And the goalkeepers have to be thinking shootout. They have to be concerned. The game will fall on their shoulders if nobody scores. Barilich chipping it in. Goes in very deep, and the Sockers will get a goal kick here. Volkmar Gross who held the Sting without a single goal in the shootout last week. Winston DeBose has been very effective in that role this season. He's done a marvelous job in that category. It'll be a tough matchup if it comes to that. Obviously, with 11 minutes to go, though, there's still time for somebody to win it right now. Cuellar up to midfield as the Sockers finally break the long drought of no scoring. 90 minutes in regulation. And some 20 minutes in the minigame. A long, long time between goals for a fine offensive team. Tampa Bay moving in. Here's Wegerle. Ball headed up into the air. Right wing side. At the goal line. He couldn't save it. It goes out across the line. Sockers get the goal kick. Ten and a half minutes remain. And as we talked about it with Fred Whitaker at halftime of regulation, is there anything tougher than to settle a trip to the playoff championships in a shootout? Oh, man. So Gross with the ball, 10:15 to go, clock running. Volkmar giving his teammates a lot of time to get downfield. And he can't save it again. Gross, more than any time I've ever seen him, has been unable to keep the ball in play on those long kicks tonight. He's had trouble with it. Maybe it's just the wet grass and the ball sliding off his foot in a way he's not used to it. So the Rowdies get it again at midfield. They're into the offensive zone. Pass on the right wing. Goes behind the Rowdy player on the right side. That's Andruszewski on an overlap. Back to Wegerle. Wegerle kicks it back to Manny. Manny just outside the penalty area. Spins it in. Barilich has room. It's cleared out to Julie B. B carrying it up for San Diego. There's got to be some tired bodies out there. Julie into the middle to Sinan. Sockers have some space. Here's Cuellar with Sinan and Sanchez. Cuellar over to Sanchez. Left wing side. Just outside the penalty area. Passes over to Cuellar. Left wing. Cuellar trying to beat the defender. Ball goes across the goal line. It'll be a corner kick. 9:15 remaining. Cuellar's kick. Line drive. Right in front of the net. DeBose makes the save. Inches in front of the goal line. My, oh my. Opportunity for San Diego to maybe win it right there. Clock running down. Sanchez scoring from B and Sinan at 17:39. And Barilich is now in for Anderson. Peter Anderson was hurt enough on that altercation a few moments ago that he's out. So that takes McLeod and Anderson both out of the lineup. But Barilich, a great goal scorer. He's got the ball now. He breaks into the penalty arc. Ball is taken away. Sockers get it. There'll be a penalty, though. Foul call. A free kick for Tampa Bay. Sockers say, you've got to be kidding. Gerd Wiescharkowski very upset. 8:15 to go. Here's Barilich getting around the first defender. Now forced off the ball. And so they didn't call it on Gert, but it was against San Diego. Tampa Bay with an opportunity with 8:04 to go. The free kick, a dangerous play in soccer, particularly this close in. Just some 25 yards outside the goal, just to the left side. Ball to Fabiani. He shoots and Gross stops it on a low, hard one that almost got into the corner of the net. Volkmar Gross again making the big play. Fabiani, the heavy foot. Here's the shot. Boom! That ball, in fact, was deflected slightly. A bang-bang play from the shot to the save. Over to the near side, over to Doc Lawson. Lawson up the right wing. Down to 7:20 to go. Sanchez breaking free on the left wing. Feeds it into O'Sullivan. Pass in the middle, Sinan, and he can't get his. Tampa Bay throws it away. Good defense by the Rowdies. 7 minutes to go. Oh, what a night of soccer we've had for you here. And a timeout again by the referee, who has stopped the clock frequently in the mini game to be sure there's no untoward advantage for either side on delays. Ball back to DeBose. And the pass goes back up to Kozic. 7 minutes remain. Sockers fighting back. They lost in regulation 6-0. They trailed in the mini game 1-0. They caught them. We're getting down to the final dramatic moments. Doc Lawson in the midfield. Sockers step over the ball there. Cuellar. Cuellar, a long pass up the middle. Good defense by Tampa Bay. Regains control. John Gorman to the left wing, over to Mott. Mott, a long pass up the left wing. The ball will go out of bounds, and the Sockers will get the throw in. More than 30,000 nervous people in this stadium right now. And there's one of them, Gordon Jago, head coach at Tampa Bay. Good coach, classy gentleman. He and Ron Newman, two of the best in the business. Wierzchowski back to Gross. 6.5 minutes remaining. Gross over to Ty on the far left wing. Keogh past Wegerle. Slowly upfield. And the ball chips down to Sanchez. Sanchez races for the ball and going hard for it with Gorman. May be called for a, will certainly be called for a foul and maybe worse. He got a little nasty that time, and Reisman warning him that I'll give you a yellow if you do that again. So a free kick here for Tampa. 6 minutes to play. Back to Mike Connell, the defender for Tampa Bay. Now the ball to Barilich in midfield. Over to the left wing side to Gorman. Gorman up the left side to Barilich. Barilich is a goal scorer. It's that simple. That's his talent. Has the ball at midfield. Passes across to the right wing. Gets it to Mott. Has to go back a little bit further for it. They're without McLeod. They're without Anderson. And that may have hurt him a little bit here. But both of them can play in the shootout if they need them. Vanderbeck back over to Gorman. 5.5 minutes to go. Now the ball comes back out across the 35. Back out toward midfield. Mike Connell, Tampa Bay, being careful. They want to set up a scoring opportunity, but they don't want an explosive play by San Diego running the other way. Great sliding tackle by the Sockers, but they couldn't keep the ball in bounds. Rodney Bush with a fine effort. He dropped the ball accidentally over the fence. Not in your life. All right, John Gorman. Gorman back out to Vanderveen. Vanderveen to Fabiani to Vanderveen in the middle, spinning loose. Ball is loose and taken away marvelously well by San Diego's Keogh and Roman at the last moment. Ball to midfield. Tampa Bay's Wegerle. 4:40 to go. Pass on the left wing. Rowdies again getting in position for a scoring opportunity. Open man on the left wing. Here's Barilich. Pass across. Ball is in the air. It's headed wide. And it'll be a goal kick for San Diego. I don't know about you, but I'm having an awfully good time. This has really been entertaining. Stamatis has come in for San Diego. In for Sinan. So Sinan, of course, who was injured in the game against Chicago last week, has never been a strong factor in tonight's game, and it could be that Newman has pulled him because he's not 100%. That's speculation, of course. But Sinan, of course, normally wouldn't pull a top scorer unless there were other factors. Under 4 minutes remaining. Rowdies with the ball. Still in possession. Barilich, a long kick into the penalty area. Ball will go across the goal line. And as we mentioned between games, often the momentum changes, and you can't call it either way right now. These teams are dead even, as they have been in a way through the series. The Sockers owning the game at home. Tampa Bay owning the game here in regulation. And now just fighting it out, tooth and nail, down to the finale. Volkmar Gross playing the crowd, really, as he moves up on the ball. And bangs it straight down the middle this time. Ball to Sanchez. And we get a whistle here, and they will give the ball, in fact, to San Diego. Sockers have the ball at midfield. Into Sanchez. Sanchez trying to keep possession. Ball comes back out. 3 minutes to go. Here comes Vanderveen. Crowd roaring here, hoping that their team can win it before a shootout. Here's Barilich. Spins it up. Doc Lawson back to get it with a marvelous defensive play. Lawson up to Julie. B up the right side. B forced off the ball out of bounds. Oh, my. Surprise call. Tampa Bay will get it. No, now they change it again. The referee overrules the linesman. And the Sockers will get the throw in. 2:25 to go before we go to a shootout. Cuellar just outside the 35. Into the middle. Sockers have possession here. Passing it back. Trying to keep the ball. Taken away by the Rowdies. Here they come up the middle. Mott. Pass on the right wing to Fabiani. Fabiani just outside the penalty area. Gets through. still has it. Great ball control. Pass in the middle and cleared away by the San Diego defense at the last possible moment. Outstanding effort by Keogh coming back to intercept the pass intended for Mott, which could have won the game. Look at this. Look at the ball work there. Terrific talents on these players. And Keogh with the key play, but it's a corner with 1:45 remaining. Here's the kick. Comes way outside. Ball is knocked down. San Diego gets it. Julie V quickly bringing it back up to midfield. V running hard. Over to the right wing side. We're down to 90 seconds. Peter O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan to Cuellar. Soccer's coming up a little bit now as everybody watches the clock with 80 seconds to go. Pass to the left wing. Here's an opportunity at the penalty area. Cleared away and out of bounds by Tampa Bay. The Sockers get the throw in. 1:15 to go. Cuellar will take the throw in. And the linesman telling him where to stand. Right in front of one of Tampa Bay's finest. Okay, ready for the throw in from the far side of the field. Way down now. 1:11 to go, and Tampa Bay making another substitution. Manny Andrzejewski comes out. Washington Olivero will come back in. Peter O'Sullivan. To Cuellar, back over to Peter. Nobody wants to lose possession in the last minute of play. Hang on to that ball. Here's a chance, a shot, blocked. Went off a Tampa Bay defender. Sockers will get the throw in. 55 seconds remaining. Lawson quickly throws it in. Gets it to Sullivan. Knocked out again. San Diego will keep possession one more time. 45 seconds remaining. Lawson throws it into the penalty area. Ball cleared out in front. Here's Julie V. Trying to knock it down. Trying to get free for the shot. Time is running down. Here it is, and DeBose makes the save with 34 seconds to go. Julie V. single-handedly trying to win the game. Tampa Bay on maybe the last run of the game. 25 seconds to go. Crowd is on its feet. Here's the pass on the right wing side. Ball is taken, and at the line, it's still in bounds. Let's say there can't be a goal there. The whistle had already been called. It went out across the line with 12 seconds to go. And the Sockers will get the goal kick. The clock continues to run. The shootout is inevitable, folks. Volkmar Gross running up on the ball. Hits it downfield. Clock has expired. And a trip to the American Conference Championship round against Fort Lauderdale will be settled in the shootout. Oh, my goodness. After we went through this last year, everybody with the Sockers said, well, it can't happen again. Well, it is. We're at it again. Another 3-hour soccer game from Tampa Bay. And now, let's see how Ron Newman decides to send out his shooters. And we will again explain to you how a shootout works. Each team gets 5 shots at the opposition goalie, and they do it goalkeeper, and they do it in alternating players. First a player from one side, then a player from the other side. They go 5 rounds. The team that has the most shots into the net after 5 rounds goes home the winner. If it is tied at the end of 5 rounds, then they go to sudden death, I guess you'd have to call it, where it's simply 1 for 1. One player shoots, he makes it, the other guy doesn't, it's over. If they keep tying, either by not scoring or scoring, both scoring, and then a situation where neither scores, they just keep it going till one team or another gets the advantage. It's really that simple. But boy, is it exciting. It is dramatic. It is tension-filled. It is a thrilling part of the sport, but a very controversial one. Obviously, the losers think it's a crime to battle through 32 regular season games, who knows how many playoff games, and have their season end because they lost the shootout, what they consider maybe a bizarre form of soccer. Obviously, the winner tends to think it's a heck of an idea. So it's been a very mixed subject since it was introduced in the North American Soccer League. Volkmar Gross does an outstanding job on this skill. As we said last week, he shut out Chicago completely. In 3 rounds, the Sockers scored the first 3 times they had the ball. Chicago didn't score at all, so it was over. So Volkmar will be under pressure now. Gross and Winston DuBose. Now again, you can send anybody out that you want among your dressed players. They didn't have to play in the mini game. They didn't even have to play in the regulation game. If they're on the bench, send them out and let them shoot. So a dramatic confrontation here. Last year, the Sockers lost in a shootout in regulation and then lost the mini game to miss out on a trip to the Soccer Bowl. Tonight, they're fighting for the right to play Fort Lauderdale. Gross will go into the net first. And we'll see who Gordon Jago descends to send out there. So all the tension and thrills and drama of another San Diego soccer season will be wrapped up in the next few minutes as they fight one more time to get into the next round. They made the playoffs with the lowest wild card record. They upset the #1 team in the conference, the Chicago Sting, in a shootout. And now, under the pressure of beating Tampa Bay in Tampa Stadium, where they're almost unbeatable, they now have to win a shootout. Hugo Sanchez will be the first player out for San Diego, as he will shoot on Winston DuBose. Apparently will be in the nets first. You have 5 seconds to shoot. Now in Chicago, they had a big advantage last week, if you saw the TV game or just listened to us, because they had an official 5-second clock. There's been constant controversy over the fact that nobody knows when the 5 seconds are up with the referee, and oftentimes it appears the shot is not taken soon enough to fulfill the 5-second requirement. So Sanchez will start at the 35-yard line. DuBose can do anything he wants once that Sanchez approaches the ball. Hugo brings it up. DuBose comes out. Sanchez shoots. He scores! Sockers lead it 1-0. So there's a big lift for San Diego as Sanchez scores the first goal. Tampa Bay, Steve Wegerle will be next. Here's Sanchez running up on the ball. DuBose stops. Sanchez stretches it out over him. So now Steve Wegerle, the leading scorer in the regular season for the Tampa Bay Rowdies, will start at the 35-yard line, and Volkmar Gross will have to stop him. 5 seconds to pull the trigger. There's the signal. He runs up on the ball. Gross comes out. The shot is way over and wide. A very bad, surprisingly bad shot by Steve Wegerle, who you can see is almost despondent that he missed. So it's 1-0 San Diego. And here comes Leonardo Cuellar, the Sockers captain, with a chance to give the team a 2-0 lead. Cuellar lines it up on the left side of the 35. Runs up on the ball. DuBose more aggressive this time. The shot is blocked. Superb effort by DuBose to knock down Cuellar. So it remains 1-0. Now the pressure reverts to Gross. DuBose playing this very well. Cuellar probably should have shot right there. Now it's too late. Now he has nowhere to go with it. Peter Baralich will be next. Baralich, the second shooter in the second round. Volkmar Gross will have to stop Peter Baralich. Baralich lining up on the left side. Gross dropping back. Baralich moves up. Here's the shot. He missed! Peter Baralich missed it wide. I can't believe it. He had Gross beaten. Gross was on the ground, and he chipped it wide of the net. Look at this again. Peter Baralich running up. Gross goes down. The ball goes over him, and it's wide. Here come the Sockers again. Jim Stamatis, a bit of a surprise here. Stamatis running out. He doesn't even get the shot off. I'm very surprised with that throw. Stamatis is blocked cold, never even got the shot off. And a little bit of a surprising entry, really. So the Sockers still lead it 1-0. Here's Vanderveen. Oh, he'll be tough on this. Vanderveen, a money player. Pressure on against Gross. Vanderveen moving up, gets ready to shoot. Blocked by Gross again. Volkmar Gross performing spectacularly as he stops Vanderveen. And now the Sockers in great position if they can score here. Here it is again. Vanderveen running up. He shoots. Gross moving with him very well. We've played 3 rounds. If the Sockers win this one, if they can score here, If Rodney Bush puts it in the net here, Tampa Bay will have to score both times just to tie. So Winston DeBose has the heavy burden right now of stopping Rodney Bush, or maybe forcing his team out. Bush shoots, he scores! The Sockers lead it 2-0. Rodney Bush laid it in low, wide of the goalkeeper. The Sockers lead it 2-0. Here's Bush from South Africa, straight down the middle. Quickly flicks it by the left side of DeBose, or the right side of DeBose. It is 2-0, and now Tampa must score here, or the Sockers play Lauderdale next week. Mike Connor will take the shot for Tampa Bay. Gross coming way out on him. Here's the shot. It's blocked, and he misses. The San Diego Sockers have come back in a dramatic shootout win. They will advance to the championship round of the American Conference. A spectacular finish to a remarkable evening of soccer where they were beaten up, bruised, and battered in the first game 6-0 as a one-man show by Wes McLeod ran away with it. 6-0 for Tampa Bay. The mini game was tied at a goal apiece in a dramatic finish there as the Sockers had to come from behind as Hugo Sanchez matched Wegerle's goal and finally winning it in the shootout 2-0. That makes it the final score 2-1 officially. That's the way it goes into the scorebooks right here. Okay, thank you for being with us tonight. Stay tuned now in San Diego. I'll tell you what's going to go on in the next round of the playoffs. Executive producer tonight, John Kashuris. Produced and directed by Jack Simon, technical director, Hughes Television Network. This program came to you through the facilities of the Hughes Television Network.
NASL soccer playoffs have been brought to you by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. By Rolaids. For acid indigestion or heartburn, Rolaids spells relief. Brought to you by Desinence. Destroys all 3 types of athlete's foot fungus.